Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Smacked Raw podcast, the exclusive recap show on WrestlingNewsWorld.com and of course right here at YouTube.com/Smacked Raw podcast and everywhere else that podcast can be found. It is the return of the day crew, the day walkers they might say. Myself, the Pale, the Kai Tai Show, Kyle. Of course I'm joined by Mr. Vicente himself at SES Vince. What's up, bud?
What is up, my man? It's been a minute. I feel like we haven't done a show together in like 2 years or something.
Yeah.
We haven't done the morning show in forever.
No, we haven't. I did a morning show with last week with Sebastian. It was pretty good.
I watched some of it while I was at work. It was pretty good. I couldn't catch the entirety of it. You guys gave me shit for bringing up a conversation you guys already talked about on the podcast, and you're like, why didn't you just watch the show? I'm like, Kyle, I'm at work getting this bread. I can't keep up with the show while I'm at work.
Never wanted to pass on an opportunity to dunk on you or Jay. Jay is someone that's fun to dunk on whenever we get a chance. I haven't seen Jay what feels like in like 3 months. I swear I haven't. I may have said like 3 words to him in the group chat.
You need to check out the NXT podcast on Wednesday. Quick cheap plug. We're gonna be recording this next Wednesday. We're gonna be talking about Great American Bash is coming back to NXT. I see you're already supporting us, Kyle, because you're wearing that NXT shirt right there.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shirts.
If you're ever missing Mr. J Thunder, Kyle, just go ahead and check out the NXT podcast. He's actually been on it for like almost 4 weeks strong now. This is the most I've had him committed to the show in forever.
That's a record, man.
It is.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about. We're not here to talk about NXT. We're here to talk about Raw.
Loyalty JTTV says hello. Is that Jay? I don't know what his. I don't know what his Twitch handle is. He's on. It's over on our Twitch channel.
It's over on our Twitch.
Is that you, Jay Thunder, in the Twitch?
I don't think it is.
It might.
I think it's. It could be. Let us know.
I'm glad we didn't start talking trash
I'm just on
right
Facebook.
Away.
He like instinctively heard us talking shit. It's like, what? My spider sense starts tingling and shit.
Yeah. Like you said, you guys are going to be covering the Great American Bash Wednesday. You'll be able to catch that probably first thing Thursday. However, on Wednesday night, you will be able to catch Mr. Rob and Kevin Crazy covering Fyter Fest. They are going live now, so we are actually live 3 days a week. That's fun and exciting. I got to catch them live, and I got to say, man, the shows I'm turning into, a lot of trash talk about me. A lot of trash talk being done about me on these other shows.
I don't think I've trash talked to you once. I think that's just AEW, man. We keep it lighthearted over here on NXT.
Loyalty J says, I don't know who Jay Thunder is, but I'm the greatest Jay ever. Okay, so it's a different Jay.
You might need to book that match.
Yeah, Jay versus Jay.
How are you doing, Kyle? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We're setting up for, we're getting close to the July 11th show.
We are.
Yes.
We are.
You guys, listen, man, on a serious note, we all like to kid around, but something that we've been working on behind the scenes and we're super proud of is on July 11th, Synergy Wrestling is back. They're teaming up with Wrestling News World, the website that we like to work with, and they're putting on a show, and it's for a good cause, where all the live stream proceeds are going to the American Nurses Foundation. Whoa, what happened to my camera?
Maybe your other camera died or something.
No, I hit the wire. I already know what happened. I freaking.
Okay. That's hilarious.
It's an ugly ass camera. I'll blame the camera, not me.
That's Kyle's real final form.
Yeah,
that's his final form. He just tries to hide it.
No, Synergy Pro Wrestling is back. Like I said, Saturday, July 11th, teaming up with Wrestling News World for the first responders. It's a pro wrestling live stream event to benefit the American Nurses Foundation. You guys, we all love pro wrestling, so why not watch a show that's actually going to go towards a good cause? Please tune into it on July 11th, man. We're super excited for it. And if you caught us before the live stream, we're actually proud to be sponsoring one of the matches, man. Yeah, so it's going to be cool. I had someone was telling me, man, this match is going to be very, very good. So I can't wait for that.
For sure.
How you been, Vince, though?
I've been good, man. I've been busy. I haven't been as busy as Kevin, but I've been out there, testing the waters. I've been hustling, getting that bread, like I mentioned earlier. And today I woke up nice and refreshed. I finished up my chocolate banana smoothie, and I'm ready to go, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I heard you got a new shoot job.
Yeah. A new shoot job, yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm actually a drug dealer now. I sell crystal meth on the side. It's not the blue meth like Walter White's in Breaking Bad. It's like a pinkish, purplish meth. New high quality meth, man. Go check it out.
I regret asking you.
Mean streets of Humboldt Park in Chicago. Check me out.
And one last thing before we get started with the show. Kevin, if you're watching, stay the F away from my wife. All right, now let's get into Raw.
Stay away from my future wife, Kevin, even though I don't have one yet.
Leave our wives alone, Kevin.
Yes,
All
Kevin.
right.
Jeez.
Hey, man, let's talk about Raw. This is stupid. One of the things that I noticed about Raw, for one, really quick, I guess we'll discuss it now. Who would have thought that Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon, leading creative, would be pretty much stomping Paul Heyman in like the approval rating for everybody? Because all I see online is people praising the last 3 weeks, which of course has been since Pritchard took over. It's been a fun 3 weeks, man.
Do you think it's more of a case of like too many cooks in the kitchen when Paul Heyman was there because he had to jump through hoops to get to Vince and stuff, and because Pritchard's more of a Vince, let's do this, and they get along a little bit better. There's less of like congestion there, and they're able to like map out a plan, and it's just a little bit more smoother.
I don't know, could be.
Yeah. I've liked the last 3 weeks though. Like I love Paul. I love what he was doing. There's certain stuff that I don't like right now that I dislike. We'll mention it once we get there. But overall, like the product is solid for what it is.
Yeah, I guess I've for the most part been digging it. A couple of things that I was really worried about so far have given me no reason to worry. So yeah, it's been a smooth ride. So how about this, man? First thing we noticed, people actually wearing masks in the crowd. Oh my God! In the middle of a pandemic, thank you, Raw, for looking out for the safety of your damn workers. Jesus, only took you guys like 13 confirmed cases of COVID.
Jesus.
It's terrible, man. It's so terrible. What the hell is Ric Flair doing there, man? Like, I'm not going to wait. What the hell is Ric Flair doing?
I don't know, man. The paycheck must be good, or else he wouldn't be out there risking his life, his own health.
Dude, just tiptoeing the COVID.
What did you think of the opening to Raw? It was very interesting. I thought I had like missed the recording because I didn't watch the beginning of Raw. I thought I had like it cut off like the first 5 minutes or something, because when I tuned into the recording, I just saw like brawling between Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka, and Samoa Joe trying to keep the peace. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Did like my
just
DVR
chaos.
cut off something? Yeah, like I'm like, did something get cut off? Am I missing the first 5 minutes or something? I had no idea what was going on.
So I actually did miss the first couple minutes. So when I tuned in, everything was calm. I think Drew McIntyre was just entering the ring. It wasn't until maybe like 20 minutes into the show, I hop on Twitter and I saw that, Raw opened up with a brawl, which I think is awesome. I've always said wrestling shows, one of my biggest criticisms over the years was like, opening up a wrestling show with a promo. I was like, man, just open it up with like going straight to the ring. Like if you could literally turn the screen on, you hear the ring bell and you see action, that instantly hooks me, man. And so that, I think that was a really wise decision, and I really wish I had actually turned on Raw in time to have caught it personally, but I did go back. And I think it's cool. Like I said, I think it's a smart decision nonetheless.
It was cool. Because I wasn't watching live, it baffled me initially, and then I'm like, wait, hold up, no, this is probably how did this start. Once Samoa Joe started getting on the mic, it's like, welcome to Monday Night Raw, and it's all chaotic. I'm like, okay, this was the intent. It was supposed to start off in chaos. I didn't miss anything. I thought it was good. Even like the contract signing segment between Dolph and Drew was good. When Sasha's talking and Asuka was talking, that was all good. Like Asuka cutting off Dolph Ziggler was hilarious to me. I couldn't get into Dolph's promo because it felt too similar to like what the message that Bray Wyatt was sending Braun Strowman. It's like,
Yeah.
I created you and I'll destroy you. And I'm like, you didn't create Drew McIntyre. If anything, Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, and 3MB created Drew McIntyre. Man. Like if anybody deserves credit, it's 3MB. Come on, Dolph. Don't give me that bullshit. But overall, I thought the segment was really good, especially for what it was. It helped build up and set up the main event mixed tag match, which again was really good.
My favorite part, you didn't touch on it. My favorite part was Dolph and Drew were going back and forth, and just when they were starting to lose you, like Dolph was talking on the mic for a second time, just when you were starting to just become disinterested, Asuka cut him off, talking in Japanese, and like I was like, dude, I don't know what she's saying, but I'm pretty sure it's you talk too much. And then the brawl ensued, and I thought that was a great touch.
It was really good. It was really good, and yeah,
man, it was good. Backstage. Maybe some trouble in paradise already between Charlie Caruso and Angel Garza. He's over there trying to swoon. Do you know the ref's name? I forgot.
I think it's Jessamine or something, or Jessica something. It starts with a J. Unfortunately, I'm drawing a blank right now, but she's really good.
The refs nowadays don't get names on WWE. That actually came out. They don't like the refs being referred to by name anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, Garza's flirting with the ref to try and get an advantage in his match later on. When Charlie comes over and was like, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?"
Selena's like, "What are you guys talking about? Get out of here, Charlie!" I love that. I love that.
Another thing that I thought was a cool little subtle touch. I love subtle touches. Subtlety to me takes me so far, and I like that the Big Show came in, cut him off, and without like any like clever wording, just like, hey guys, sorry, I got to pull rank. I got an issue with Randy Orton. I'm going out next. You guys are going to have to wait your turn. And I don't know why, but I loved the idea of Big Show running around just swinging his weight.
I mean, he's a big guy. He should be swinging his weight around. I liked it too. And it's helped set up even more matches. And obviously the match that it set up, it was because of the cases we were talking about in COVID that, you know, they were like short on bodies. Apparently, Rock got hit.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. They're short on bodies right now. But out comes Show. He's in the ring. He calls out Randy Orton. Randy does not answer the call. Instead, Andrade, Vega, and Garza come out, obviously pissed off that Show cut them in line. Before they can attack Show, Ric Flair comes out. That's what blew my mind. I was almost positive after hearing of all the behind-the-scenes COVID stuff.
Right.
Flair was on a one-way trip home. No, right. Flair's sticking around.
Flair gives zero fucks.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, wrestling's in his blood. He wants to do it till he dies. I'm fairly certain. Flair is just helping push the Orton feud. Once Flair's finished, he pretty much gives the go-ahead to Andrade and Garza to take on Show. But before that can happen, the Viking Raiders come out. It's just a whole lot of bodies. Viking Raiders come out. We cut to commercial. When we come back, it is, of course, the regular scheduled match, the Viking Raiders taking on Andrade and Garza. Segment was all right. It was all right. I've been enjoying Big Show's work lately. I don't know why. I just feel like he has such like a nice presence on Raw. I don't know how to put it, man. I've just been enjoying it.
Well, for one, like we were mentioning, he's a vet. He's been in just about every single kind of like odd like experience, like situation you can think of. So like little things like this whole like pandemic, like quarantine lockdown stuff, it's not going to affect them too much. He's going to be able to like roll with the punches. And also too, maybe it's a case of we see the writing on the wall with Show. We see that he's on his way out. We just saw Taker possibly have his final match, and we might just be losing a little bit of our childhood in Big Show. And he's like one of the last.
Rumored to retire like 2 WrestleManias ago.
He was supposed to have a retirement match against Shaquille O'Neal or something. I don't know. I have no confirmation on that, to be honest.
Oh man, I don't know. The match that we got was okay. All the Raw matches were fairly the same, like very fast, kind of just hitting the big spots and kind of moving. So none of the matches really stood out too much to me outside of maybe the main event.
Right.
But what happened here? We got, I believe, Andrade and Garza. Oh, yeah. Midway through the match, Andrade, there's still trouble in paradise, apparently. Because Andrade walks out on Garza, which, Lord knows, like, guys, are you on the same page or not? Like, I really don't get it. But Zelina Vega goes ahead, gets the troops back together, and ultimately it comes down to Garza picking up the win with the wing clipper. They're really pushing this tag team to go for the tag titles. But it's like, dude, this whole faction and tag team, everything that they've been doing with Andrade has been essentially feeling like it's been doomed from the start, man.
It's just been stop and go. There's never any consistency with it. It's either they're having trouble in paradise and you have to try to fix it, or they're smooth sailing and then all of a sudden they have issues. It's like, if you have issues, fine, make that the story and make them so they can get into a cohesive unit. Goddamn, just like make them get to working together, or just like make them gel, or just like have issues. If they have issues, fine, but fix them. It's like, they'll have an issue this week. Next week, we fixed the off screen. We're good now.
And
then they'll go into bickering again. It's like, what's the goddamn point? It's like, that's the one thing that I hate about this whole Bruce Pritchard stuff on Raw. It's like, why is this continuing to happen? It's like, 1 week they're good, 1 week they're not. It's like, pick a lane and stick to it and go that way with this team. Or else just don't do a tag team with them at all. Just make them go on their separate ways. Have Selena manage both of them, but as singles guys, just like Bobby Heenan back in the day.
Yeah. Jay Turner in the chat over on our Periscope stream says they are ruining the faction. He says Andrade, Garza, and Zelina shouldn't break up yet. Way too early.
It's no longer even a faction. They lost Austin Theory. Austin Theory is like gone. He disappeared.
There's 3 of them. You could call them
no.
faction.
Stop it. It's a tag team. It's a tag team right now until they get like a 3rd or 4th member. Yes.
And
that's all it
Benny
is.
Bull says, "What's up, everybody? Hey, Benny, man, how's it going, bud?"
Oh, that's my friend Ben.
That's your friend Ben?
Yeah, that's my friend Ben from Chicago. We go to wrestling shows all the time. He's like a blast, man. I've been trying to talk him into like guesting on the show here and there, but he's camera shy.
Yeah, actually, that almost happened last night. I was talking to my wife last night, and she actually has some hot takes every now and then when we're talking about wrestling. And I was like, hey, actually, I kind of need someone to do a show with.
Right.
And she was like, okay. And then she's like, no. And then she's like, we going to do this? And she's like, and I could tell, man, she wanted to, but she was so nervous. And I was like, putting you in front of a camera for an hour straight probably isn't going to be.
You know what we should do? You should do like a 30-minute segment with Jess and call it, give her own like segment, like on a talk show, like a news show, and just call it Just Jess, and it's just her hot takes, and then just go from there. It's like Kyle's wife, Jess, and her hot takes in wrestling.
She sees all of 25 minutes of wrestling a week, but
that's all she needs to form an opinion, man. That's all she needs.
And James, I agree with you. He says manager counts as a faction. So I agree with you, James. I'm on board, bud. Backstage, Iconics are bullying Ruby Riott. So Ruby...
I actually missed that part.
Yeah. So Ruby Riott's just chilling backstage, working her shoulder. Apparently she got a hurt shoulder, is the story here.
Right.
Iconics come back there. They bully her. You look different than us. All that cliche stuff.
Yeah, that Mean Girl stuff.
So Ruby stands up for herself and says, "Hey, let's go ahead and have a match. Then I'll take on one of you in a match." Granted, this was too short to count. The only thing that threw me off was we've had Ruby Riott's going to quickly become like a mini Big Show, where she's just turning face and heel with no motivation. She just shows up on a show and she's heel or face, which I believe after tonight. And we got a hint of it last week that Ruby's definitely going face. Get her back with Liv Morgan. We'll talk more about that once that match comes up. And then backstage also, Andrade and Garza are bickering. However, Andrade's father-in-law, Ric Flair, comes in. And
Not official yet, Kyle.
Might as well be. Dude, the grin he had on his face looking at Rick, I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking too much into it, man, but yeah, it was a funny grin. Just knowing that, the whole thing with him and Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte, and stuff. Ric Flair, of course, pulls him aside and says, let's go ahead and let's talk over here. Kind of leading you to believe, man, Flair might just be doing doing some work backstage on Raw. He might not just be like a one-off. He might be doing some stuff with a lot of the heels, at least temporarily. Some, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think of Tozawa and the Ninjas? I got to tell you, as a person of color, I got to ask: does it bother you?
You're asking the wrong person of color. This should be more of does it offend the Asian community more so than me, because even though I am of color, I won't feel that. Or I could be like, man, that's so offensive, and they could be like, no, I thought it was kind of cool. Or I could be like, oh, that was kind of cool, and they just I like if it's a like Latino segment, come to me. I got your answers. But me personally, I didn't enjoy the segment. I thought it was a little like hokey. I haven't been into it, but I liked it. Tozawa won the title.
That's why I like it though. Like they throw me back to that hokey like 90s like stupid comedy stuff.
Yeah.
I've said
get it
ever since I saw like the him and the Ninjas. I always got this like cross vibe, especially during what was the pay-per-view that we just had? Backlash.
Yes.
It was like a cross between the Avengers and Three Ninjas. Like just that cheesy 90s movie, man.
Right.
I absolutely loved it, dude. I really did.
I think maybe in that kind of setting, like they did at Backlash, would have really worked. But like in
just
the live
in-ring kind of stuff.
Yeah, in ring stuff, I don't think it works as well.
I got you. Yeah, but Tozawa has to defend the 24/7 championship in a match. This is the only. Okay, like, granted, this is a joke title, and by the way, hot take here. I actually think the belt, now that it's got some age to it, I kind of like the look of the 24/7 title. I think it well represents what it is. But
quick shot, but it's better than the TNT title.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. But I'm not a fan of the whole like setting up matches, like setting up.
Right.
Okay, we're suspending the rule, the 24/7 rule, to have a match that's completely against the purpose of the belt. Right. You know, it's like when they were defending the tag team titles in singles triple threat matches. I thought that was completely redundant. Like, this is the opposite of what these belts represent. You shouldn't be having these matches determine the victor. But it is what it is. And like the 24/7 championship, it changed hands via roll-up. R-Truth is now a 37-time champ. It's surreal, man.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's been around for like what, like only 2 years, maybe?
I don't even know how long. I really don't.
I just remember like Mick Foley showing up one random night on Raw, and then just revealing this 24/7 title, and then it became a thing.
Everybody shit on it.
Everybody shit on it for sure. And it's funny. I love this because this is the one beauty about wrestling Twitter, is that there was a clip of Cody at a Starrcade or Starrcast or whatever it was, and he's shitting on the 24/7 title. I was like, oh, it looks like garbage. This is terrible. I would never bring out an incomplete, if it wasn't completed, I would never bring out an uncompleted belt. And then they found that clip and they re-aired it when he debuted the TNT title. So I thought that was kind of funny. Honestly, for the gimmick it was, I think this is perfect for the title. I think it's aged well. I think you can't take the 24/7 division too seriously. You got to take it with a grain of salt, and like segment by segment. Sometimes it'll be a hit, sometimes it'll be a miss. Overall, I think it's okay. Tozawa is a good character, and if you've noticed, R-Truth works best as 24/7 champion when he has a foil, a villain almost.
Yeah.
He's had Drake Maverick. I think Gronk wasn't a good one, but now he has Tozawa, and he's faced Tozawa in the past with that Christmas segment that they had a couple months back. So I'm totally okay with it. We'll see where it goes. I'd like to see some more women interacting with the 24/7 division again.
Me too. No, me too. Absolutely, me too. Unknown superstar or superstar blowouts in the chat. He says 37 time. So you haven't really been on any of the live streams, but one of our constant viewers, we finally have like a regular in our channel, and that is the Unknown Superstar Blowout. He's also regularly featured on the Putting You Over show, and even has his own segment on that show where he does like, I think some type of, I keep forgetting what it is, so I'm sorry, Blowout. But it's kind of like fan fiction, fantasy book and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Kind of like that Adam Blampied stuff where it's like how I would book what, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
He says R-Truth thought Gronk was Tom Brady. Yeah, I know. I caught that, dude. I thought that was hilarious. It's announced after this match that a Big Show will be facing Andrade and Garza in a handicap match. So we had that to look forward to. Andrade and Garza working overtime. Oh, this show is called The Blow Off. Oh, simple enough. Okay.
The blow off.
Yeah. Guys, go check that out, man. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, go check out on Twitch TV. I believe it's the standing streamer. It's called Putting You Over. It's a really fun show. And like I said, one of our regulars is featured on it, man. It's a lot of fun. It's from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Afterwards, Seth Rollins is back for the greater good.
All about the greater good.
God, I love that soundbite. He's here to ask for forgiveness for Ray, but not for what he has done, but for what he's going to do in the future. I like this, man. Seth is trying to prove himself to be a viral threat, a devastating, not like in the wrestling sense, I'm going to beat you up. His whole purpose is to maim you for life. Like,
it's almost like psychotic evil Randy Orton back in the early 2000s, like 2009 Randy Orton when he was with Legacy. He was just like had voices in his head. Like, he's crazy at this point. Like, he's lost it. He's lost it.
I'd love like now obviously we have Moxley as jump ship, but Roman, just one day down the future, if his character is still going to cross paths with Roman, and just be like, dude, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Seth, losing both his bros, man, has not treated Seth too kindly. However, lost my place in my notes. There we go. Yeah, I mean, he's essentially just saying he's going to write off Rey Mysterio. His whole idea of sacrificing him for the greater good is to essentially just force Rey into retirement and probably do the same to Dominic, retire Dominic before his career takes off. Rey appears on the screen. He essentially just repeats what Seth says back to him. Says, however, I want Dominic's forgiveness, because essentially no son should see their father do the violent acts that I intend on doing to you. So they've been circling each other long enough now. My criticism is they need to start mixing it up. You have this proxy of Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo coming in, and they're kind of like the pawns for Rey and Dominic here. But we're starting to get into that territory where their promos are the same every week. There's not really anything different to add to this dynamic. At some point, you guys
haven't even have a match yet, right?
No, you got to get in the ring. Yeah, because this whole thing started over a tag match that Rey had against Murphy and Seth after Seth lost at WrestleMania. So yeah, now we're going on like almost 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Of just this bickering back and forth, man. Well, anyways, Black and Carrillo come out. It sets up a tag match between Rollins and Murphy. Of course, if you guys are paying attention to anything that's going on behind the scenes, Austin Theory is essentially off of television for maybe permanently. I don't know, man. Just until some of the backstage issues are, they figure out what's going on with that. You guys can look into it. I ain't going to get into it on air, but if you want to, you can look it up.
Yeah.
Tag match is pretty good. Who ended up winning on this one, man?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Rollins won. I was just giving you a chance. Rollins beat Carrillo with a stomp.
Oh, Jesus. Put me on the spot and just like it blew up in my face. I legit drew a blank on who won that. I'm like, God.
Do you remember what happened after the match?
Yeah, they try to end Carrillo's like eye again. They try to like take
when
his eye out.
When they put the Mysterio mask on him, I thought that was a wrap, because I thought that's how they would cover up that spot. I was like, oh shoot, they are going to take Carrillo out, man.
They technically did it. He didn't take out his eye, but they knocked him clean the fuck out.
I love this because this is like it was such a cheap shot. Like, this is one of those dastardly things that you're like, only the lowest of scum would do something like this.
Right.
As Seth is trying to push Carrillo's face down on the steps, Aleister Black is able to break it up, but Black ends up scuffling with Murphy, and Seth Rollins just sees the opportunity and stomps Carrillo's head into the steps, but like mid-stride running away. Not like setting it up deliberate. It was just like, oh, I'm trying to retreat, and I was able to like smash this guy during my retreat. It was
Right.
I found it kind of hilarious, actually.
It was pretty good. I like heel Seth right now.
Yeah, I think everybody does. I ain't
For the
gonna
most
lie.
part, yeah.
I think everyone does. Like, pretty much like everyone agreed to like the combination of McIntyre and Asuka.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was getting people talking on Twitter that they want the Mixed Match Challenge back.
Yeah. I don't know if it was established. It was only at this point did I realize that the main event was set up as the mixed matched tag match, or the mixed tag match. Excuse me.
Right.
Yeah, McIntyre and Asuka are going to be taking on Dolph Ziggler and Sasha Banks in a
Right.
mixed tag match. Followed that up with a replay of SmackDown with a tribute off of SmackDown to Taker. That was kind of just like some weird inception. They pulled up a recap of SmackDown, which aired a tribute, which is nice, man. Taker, I don't know, man. I don't
Honestly,
believe
like
it.
if like wasn't the reports that they got hit with like a lot of people being like taken off of Raw or something, and from there they had to go ahead and like fill in the gap because they didn't have enough like content for the full 3 hours, so they had to like re-air the Taker stuff.
Well, I don't know, because the tribute was really only like a couple minutes long. It wasn't like on SmackDown. Like on
It was like
SmackDown, you could tell, because
Yeah.
SmackDown they took up almost an hour of airtime with the WrestleMania match.
Right.
But I think with this, they're just trying to drive home what was it, the Last Ride, the final chapter, which aired last Sunday, which Undertaker announced his retirement, quote unquote. I'm telling you, as the days go on, I become more skeptical.
That Taker's really gone.
I think I agree that this match that he had with AJ is probably the best match he's gonna get for a retirement match. However, my doubt comes because throughout the series, Taker always had an excuse why it couldn't be his last match. With Roman, it was the botch and he wasn't in shape, and then he just kept having bad match after bad match. He didn't want to go out on that. With this one, if Taker was going to make an excuse, it was that maybe he wanted to go out in front of fans. I think man, dude can call it a day. He's fine. He could have called it a year.
He should have called it a day at the end of an era match.
End of an era, yeah, my favorite match.
That was probably the last greatest match he's had. The Punk match was good. I think even some of his Hell in a Cell match with Brock Lesnar at Hell in a Cell was decent, but it's like one of those cases where like he should have like wrapped things up during that Brock Lesnar feud after he lost the streak. It is what it is, man. We'll see.
He just kept having to look at Shawn Michaels, though. That was the thing, is Shawn Michaels set the retirement match bar so high, and he had to look at that.
And that's why I appreciate Austin so much, because he didn't even say it was his last match. He just had his final match and then rode off into the sunset, and it was gone. And he had multiple opportunities to come back. Nothing. That's why I don't know. For me, I feel like Austin is going to be like the perfect retirement. He just like he retired how that character would have. He's like, this is it. This is my last ride. I'm no longer the top guy here. I'm riding off into the sunset. Perfect way to send off that character.
Yeah, and without some big announcement either, making a big deal out of it.
Yeah, well, there was in social media, or else they probably would have made like a whole 3-hour tribute to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You got a point there. Yeah, you got a point.
What we had after this, Kyle?
Peyton Royce defeating Ruby Riott in a fairly quick match. However, I have got to say, God damn,
yes,
this twisting brain buster that she does. Legit. Holy shit, that move is badass.
And the setup to it to like
the
knock her out.
To the head.
That jumping kick to the look. I've always said this, and a lot of people will give me shit for it. It's like I love Billie Kay and Peyton Royce so much because they complement each other well. Billie Kay outside of the ring, like with the character work, she's the better of the two. In ring wise, it's Peyton Royce, and she's improved leaps and bounds every single time. She just doesn't get the opportunity to do so. A lot of the time, because they're the Iconics and they're playing these like cartoonish Looney Tune heels, that they have to like oversell some stuff and pretend like they're just like incompetent, like almost like Team Rocket from Pokemon. But they're not that. They're actually very good in the ring. They can work together well. Peyton Royce is one of those people that I feel like doesn't get enough shine. And shout out to Ruby Riott, because that finisher wouldn't have looked as amazing if it wasn't for her. She twisted her body like it was a pretzel.
It was violent. That was like the most dangerous I've ever seen Peyton Royce look. It was.
And after the match, she felt herself. She was flexing. She's like, "Yes, I did that. Watch out for me." I loved it.
Billy Kay coming in with the celebration with it too was priceless. Oh
yeah,
my god,
fucking loved it all, man. I loved it all.
Dr. Shrimp Puerto Rico, I think, speaking on the Austin segment we were talking about, he says they should have done a tribute for him, like actually like their like Flair. I think he's. I mean, I would have taken it too. Like I would have. I didn't even know Austin had retired. To be fair with you, like I didn't. It just was like months later.
happened.
I'm like, where the hell's Stone Cold?
All of a sudden, he's just the sheriff of Raw for no reason.
Yeah.
But before we move on quickly, I want to touch on the Ruby Riott and the whole Liv Morgan stuff. I think where this is gonna go is the Iconics are going to keep targeting Ruby Riott, and then Liv Morgan's like, we were friends. Like, let's put our differences in the past, and we're going to be a tag team, and they're going to be a faction. They're going to be an item again. And I feel like the reason why they pivoted so hard to Ruby Riott being a babyface and trying to remedy that relationship she had with Liv Morgan is because Paul Heyman's out. That singles push for Liv Morgan is clearly out the window. The only reason why they had Ruby versus Liv in the first place is to get a win and build up Liv Morgan as a single star on Raw. That's no longer happening with the fact that that Becky's gone, Charlotte's gone. WWE right now is relying heavily on Sasha and Bayley, and since they're women's tag champions, they can go to any brand. So they're establishing tag teams on all three brands for them to face and give them a reason to come to Raw, give them a reason to come to NXT, and not just be staying on SmackDown. So I think that's what this is. It's just to help give Sasha Banks and Bayley reasons to come over to Raw.
I was gonna say, I mean, I pretty much can't add much to it, like on what you said on why, but at this point their hands are kind of forced anyways. Just because like Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan are both on horrendous losing streaks, probably the worst losing streaks on Raw since their return forward. I believe Liv Morgan's only wins to date, or to note rather, are over Ruby, like you said. And then I don't know if Ruby Riott has a single win on Raw since her return from injury.
I don't even think she's had one since before Riot Squad. Like, I think the last time she won a singles match was when she was part of Riot Squad.
It's a shame too, because that Riot kick is actually pretty badass. But
she's
so
badass in general. She should get more time.
The writing is on the wall, although it's kind of leaving a bad taste in my mouth. I think when you break a duo or a trio up, there needs to be some level of success between those guys before you bring them back together, because then otherwise, unfortunately, you make it look like they're going to fail on their own and they're only successful together. But at the same time, if it results in some wins and some good chemistry for them, I'm for it. You know what I mean? It just does kind of suck that no one was able to break out when you broke up the Riot Squad. Not a single person was.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, like I said, if this is going to get some wins in them and then maybe get them a shot at the tag titles at some point, hey, go ahead, put them back together.
For sure.
Yeah. Let me see here. I really need to make my notes a little bit easier to read. Big Show, he had the handicap match, which was a pretty straightforward. Essentially, just another time of Garza and Andrade. I don't know why. Again, bickering back and forth. Essentially, man, these guys are so dysfunctional. They are next to attacking each other during the match. That is just how terrible they are of a unit. You had Andrade blind tagging himself in. Garza walks off out of frustration. This allows Big Show to chokeslam Andrade for the win, which, granted, like, I mean, That's not even Big Show's finisher. It's the knockout punch.
It was his finisher.
It was.
It's a callback. It's a callback.
Yeah.
He did hit him with the knockout punch after the match.
Yeah. But yeah. You know, I think this makes Big Show. I think they said like somewhere around like 7 or 8 straight handicap victories against the 2-on-1 odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, that's quite a record to have, actually.
So I know why they went this direction and had Big Show win here, because they're building him up to be a threat for Randy Orton to like face off at Extreme Rules. He's just like a stopgap feud for Randy Orton, you know, because the Legend Killer's back or something. The Big Show is a legend. I just don't like the inconsistency on a single. It's one thing if you have the inconsistency episode to episode, but on one single episode you had inconsistency with Garza and Andrade. Earlier on, yes, they were bickering back and forth, but you know, like every good teams, they bicker back and forth, they have disagreements, and they beat the former Raw Tag Team Champions. Now they're in a 2-on-1 situation later on in the night, and they're so dysfunctional after like maybe an hour or two of being with each other that they just give up on each other and lose to the Big Show, someone who hasn't been wrestling in like consistently for years now. And I love Big Show, but he's older now. They should be able to go ahead and beat down the Big Show regardless of their differences. You know, they should be able to beat the Big Show, but I just don't like the inconsistency there.
I know. But hey, look, man, the Big Show also hasn't had a win in like 13 years, so hey, good for him.
It's the Big Show.
You know,
people forget.
Apollo, Ricochet, and Cedric all hanging out in the back. R-Truth comes out. He refers to Cedric Alexander as Cedric the Entertainer. And then I think he called Ricochet like Richard O'Shake.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know where it's going.
It's like you just gotta roll with it, man.
It's like when he's around, man. It's all good. It's just truth, man.
Yeah.
Following that up, this feud looks like it's reaching its apex. Hopefully, MVP defeats Apollo Crews with a little bit of help of Bobby Lashley. After the match, Bobby puts Apollo in the full Nelson. Cedric and Ricochet both come out, barely able to get Bobby Lashley off of him. Once they do, though, they cut to commercial comeback, and Lashley has an awesome match with Ricochet. Lashley is looking like an absolute juggernaut. The dude...
That was actually a nickname they gave him in Impact Wrestling, the Juggernaut.
Yeah, he's frightening. Like, oh my God, man, when you get him with the right guy like Ricochet, he looked frightening, throwing Ricochet all over the place. And then on top of that, his cauliflower ear got busted open and he was bleeding everywhere. And it looked like it just stepped up his intensity to another notch. Lashley ended up tapping out Ricochet with the master lock or the full Nelson. I gotta say, man, this is prime Lashley. He's hot right now. You gotta strike on it. I say go ahead, do whatever you're gonna do with this storyline and fast track it at least at Extreme Rules. Whether MVP gets that belt off Apollo because MVP did, like I said, pin him, and Lashley is the heavy, or somehow do the swap and get Apollo taken on Bobby Lashley and get the belt on him, which that's the one I would prefer the most.
I would prefer him being WWE champion.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, right now he's obviously mixed up in the U.S. title scene, and so we have to see that through. And the only way I see that is getting that belt over to them. Like, you have to get that belt over to them. Otherwise, this last couple months have just been a complete flop.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm all about it, man. I had pretty much given up on Lashley as far as being a fan, and just ever since you got him and MVP around each other, they've probably become my favorite part of Raw. Hands down, dude.
They've been good. They've been saving Raw for the most part. And, you know, Selena, too, like a lot of her segments have been really good, too.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Selena's tied to this, I'm sorry, man, but terrible tag team / faction.
It's, you know what? I'll give you credit where credit is due. You called the bullshit tag team that it was like going to be terrible. They're not going to get things going. And I'm like, no, man. They're going to get it going. It's going to be a great faction. And look at them. Like, months later, and they're in the shits.
I wasn't trying to shit on. I mean, if there's one thing that I didn't see coming is how big of a fan I'd become of Angel Garza. But unfortunately, my favorite segments with Garza are backstage with him and Charlie Caruso.
That's where he shines his best.
That's where he needs to be, man.
He's the Kevin of Monday Night Raw.
Oh my gosh. And then, of course, we topped off our night with a great mixed tag match with Drew and Asuka taking on Sasha Banks and Dolph Ziggler. Sasha.
Wait, before the match, there was this one segment where Dolph Ziggler's trying, like, hey, all right, come on, just I know you guys are champs, but let me follow my lead, and we'll get us to victory. And then they shit on Dolph. I'm like, dude, what have you done? You used to be on SmackDown, now you're on Raw. We're running the division over here on SmackDown. And Bayley's like, if anything, don't ruin this for Sasha. And they just put him in his place. He's like, yeah. Guys are champs. I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah,
so that was good.
There's 3 belts between the two of them, Dolph. They might know what they're talking about.
Exactly. Jesus, Dolph.
Oh man, my favorite part, of course, is like everyone's favorite part, and that's Bayley on commentary. And I love that she's acknowledging it now too. She's like the best commentator on SmackDown.
And I love that Samoa Joe just feeds into it. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm so glad that you're here. Like, this is such a treat. I love it. I love when heel commentators just feed into the heel's BS.
Oh man, no, it's good. It's very, very good. Sasha reversed. There was a frantic back and forth. Ultimately, Sasha did reverse the Asuka lock into a roll-up victory for her team. And that's how Raw went off the air. Because, I mean, they literally, like, cut to black the second that 3 count was done. This was Drew McIntyre's first TV loss since November.
But he wasn't the one pinned. It was Sasha that got the win here, right?
It's still technically a TV loss for Drew.
Yeah, but they can always spin it next week. It's like he has yet to like lose a TV.
Yeah, but I mean, as a technicality, Drew has not technically lost a match on Raw or on television since last November. This was the first time.
For sure.
Not like this is holding him back. This is just like a funny little anecdote from the match.
Right.
That's all. But yeah, that was Raw, man, and like I said, it was pretty good. It was once again.
I'm not 100% like sold on the Dolph Drew match, even though Dolph's gonna be able to like pick his own stipulation. The one thing that Raw helped do with that opening segment and the main event was build up Sasha Banks as a legitimate threat to Asuka's title. I don't think she'll beat Asuka for the title, but within the past like 2 weeks, they've built up Sasha as like someone that watch out, because even if she doesn't do it at Extreme Rules, she could take that title. They're making you believe, and they're backing those 2 girls so much right now with the pandemic, with the other 2 horsewomen gone. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Sasha the title for a couple months and then give it back to Asuka and have her do the chase, because Asuka never officially won the belt by beating someone. She was basically awarded the title, even though yes, she won the Money in the Bank briefcase without knowing the title was there. She didn't actually pin anyone for that title, so I wouldn't be surprised if Sasha gets the belt and then they have Asuka chase her and then win it back at SummerSlam.
Yeah. See, my theory is though that this match is actually going to be the catalyst for Sasha and Bayley finally breaking up. Because my idea about this is Bayley is going to somehow inadvertently cost Sasha the match. Mm-hmm. And Sasha's going to take it to heart. She's going to take it like Bayley's trying to hold her down, doesn't want her on equal footing, something like that. And that's going to get us the official start, because they kind of teased us for a while, but then had to pull back, I think, when they realized that SummerSlam's not going to be in Boston in front of a live crowd. So they were like, okay, no, we got to pump the brakes a little bit. But I think they're ready to restart it, and I think that at Backlash, that's when it officially restarts.
Well, if rumors are to be believed, with our sources from WrestlingNewsWorld.com, go ahead, check them out for all the latest news, rumors, articles. Go ahead and put that on your browser. Like hit the bookmark tab on there. They were letting us know that, and I think they tweeted it out too, that WWE is looking to start having live shows with fans starting September or late August.
That's crazy.
So
It doesn't
you
even
might
feel
not
like,
be
dude. It feels like we're not even like
halfway. I feel like we're not even halfway there,
Yeah,
but we're like
and yet
jump starting it
somehow in, like,
regardless.
oh man, that is.
They're gonna get innocent people sick and infected.
Hey, let's
for
not
no
go
reason.
in on that. But hey, yeah, they're trying to get fans in on September. We'll go in on that maybe on tonight's new show. Tonight's new show, folks.
Who's slated to be on that?
I don't have anybody yet. I'm literally by the seat of my pants. So per suggestion from a former castmate, Benji, I don't know his Twitter handle. I should have pulled it up.
Calavera Comedy.
Is it Calavera Comedy?
Calavera Comedy. You gotta say it with the accent, Kyle. I believe in you, man. I've been teaching you Spanish for about 8 to 12 months. It's 8 to 10 months, man.
No, but I feel like
Comedy.
he may have changed it.
No, it's the same thing everywhere.
No, it
man.
is. It's at Benji Calavera.
Benji Calavera.
Yep, at Benji Calavera. I knew.
Maybe that means that he gave up comedy.
Oh God. Anyways, per suggestion of our former castmate, and he wasn't even suggesting it to us. He just threw it out there, and I kind of picked up the ball and ran with it. It's a working title. Don't know the name of it, but essentially the premise is we're gonna take all of Twitter's unpopular wrestling opinions, collect them all, and then just debate them. And we'll determine whether they are unpopular, whether there's some truth to them, whether they're in fact actually popular. But instead, so what this will do is it'll be a fun little debate show between myself and whoever's on. It doesn't even have to be a debate. We can just talk about this stuff. And then also give the Twitterverse a bunch of shout outs. Because, of course, we'll go ahead and reference everybody on Twitter that has these unpopular opinions, quote unquote.
We got to make sure we slap that tweet on the goddamn screen so they know.
I'll work out the technical side of it. But yes,
I got you, man. I got you. Like Smack Raw Pod After Dark, we're gonna get this going. Behind the scenes stuff, you know.
Yeah, but so yeah, make sure to check that out tonight. I think it'll be good. It may flop. Who knows? Literally taking this per a suggestion that was just on a random tweet, and I was like, okay, I'll take this random tweet and I'm gonna create 30 minutes out of it. You know, so that's the goal. So tune in tonight for that.
But yeah.
Also, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Once again, check out WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Make them your homepage for all your wrestling news.
Download this episode too, wherever you consume all your audio podcasts. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell notice so you know when a brand new episode drops.
Yes, and head over to Belts by Dan. Get you a authentic championship belt made. Those guys do some good work. From what I gather, they're pretty expensive, but I mean, you get what you pay for.
Every good thing comes with a price. If you want high quality material, production, work ethic, anything, the whole 9 yards, if you want high quality grade A stuff, you gotta pay top dollar for it. That's why when for my crystal meth that I sell on the side, it's very expensive because it's top dollar stuff. I don't just sell this for like a dub. No. You gotta pay top dollar for this purple pink meth, man. Anyway, I think that's enough of me rambling on about my undercover business, man, underground business.
Follow me at the Kaitai Show.
Follow me at SES Vince. Follow the show at SmackDown Pod. We will be live streaming on Wednesday, and I'll be dropping the NXT podcast Thursday morning.
All right. Thank you, guys. And by the way, make sure to stick around. We're going to go ahead and close the show out, but we'll continue live streaming.
I got to go get my charger from my phone.
Yeah, you go ahead. But you guys, like always, have a good one.
All right, hold on. I asked my phone that